Coming to you live from the Mistopheles Studios, it's Dark Fringe Radio. And good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming in on Dark Fringe Radio. I am your host, Will Martinez. Thanks for coming on the podcast tonight. We have a special one for you, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We have a lot to talk about. It's actually our Waverly special, and we're going to be talking with Gab tonight, and we're going to be talking about her experiences there, some of the evidence that she's captured, which it's pretty significant, and we're going to go through all that stuff, all the audio stuff, all the photos. We're going to be posting this on our actual visual YouTube channel, so you can go to our YouTube channel at Dark Fringe Radio, and go there and check it out. Make sure you subscribe, like, and do all that stuff there, and that's it. That way you can see what we're talking about, hear all the evidence, look at all the photos that we're talking about, and that way you're not in the dark. So wanted to introduce, of course, my co-host for the evening, Gab. Gab, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, very good. So, listen, we're going to be talking about your crazy adventure that you had at Waverly. I mean, it's just, I know you had a very profound experience there, and, I'm sure you were kind of a different person after that, after your experiences there. Am I correct?
Oh my God, yes. That place is crazy.
Yeah, so we're going to get into all the evidence. We're going to talk about your experiences there, all the things you felt, saw, heard, and so on and so forth. I wanted to remind everybody about the social media. You can check us out at Dark Fringe Radio. You can see us on Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram. All our stuff is there, posting constantly. A lot of information, just constant things that we post on a daily basis. So please check us out there. Subscribe to all that stuff. Again, to listen to the podcast, it's pretty simple. There's a couple different ways you can listen to the podcast. You can also listen to us through SoundCloud. You can check us out on our YouTube channel to see us visually. You can also visit iTunes if you're on a Apple phone, and then also for Android people, just check out the Google Play Store, look up Dark Fringe Radio. Very simple, and you'll be able to find everything there. So, Gab, I wanted to kind of talk to you about some of the movies that are going to be coming out here in the near future as far as horror movies. Before we get into our discussion about Waverly. And a lot of really cool movies that are going to be coming out. A lot of very exciting movies. First one on the list I kind of wanted to bring up was Meg. And the reason I brought that one up is actually I saw that over the weekend with my son. And it was a decent movie. It was actually a pretty decent movie.
It's good.
Yeah. The thing was that it's not Jaws, of course. Jaws is Jaws. Nothing else is going to surpass that. But Meg was a good movie. It had Jason Statham as the lead actor in it, and the real star of the whole movie was his little girl, believe it or not. And it was actually a really believable storyline. Of course, the CGI kind of throws things into a whirlwind where you can kind of look at it and you're like, okay, that's fake or whatever. But overall, good story.
Right.
And they also gave a lot of nods to Jaws. They did a couple scenes in there where they, kind of replicated what Jaws did to give a little nod to Jaws to say, hey, listen, we respect you. This is for you. So I thought that was really cool how they did that, and real classy. And overall, a good movie. I mean, it's not something that you're going to say, oh God, I need to see it again. You watch it one time and that's it pretty much.
So it wasn't like a kid's movie?
A kid could watch it, yeah. There was no, gratuitous violence. I mean, yeah, they shot up a couple of sharks. I think a whale got blown up with some dynamite. Yeah, with his guts flying all over the place. Literally, no, seriously. And, no, besides that, there was no, real bad cursing. There was no sex scenes or anything like that at all. So, yeah, it was a pretty, vanilla movie as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, I think it was PG-13. But, other than that, something you could probably watch on a Saturday night and say, hey, listen, that was fun to watch, and I'll never have to see it again.
I'm going to have to check it out. It sounds good.
It's not bad. So, So another movie that's going to be coming out here in the near future is the Slender Man movie. Actually, it just came out on the 10th, and that's of course the horror movie
Ooh.
based on the internet meme, the Slender Man. And Javier Botet is the main role title actor in this film. He was also in Mama and also in The Conjuring too, so you'll recognize him from those movies. But yeah, what do you think about that movie? I mean, that was like a internet sensation created by a creepypasta
Right.
kind of thing, and all of a sudden came out of nowhere. You know?
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of expecting for it to come out anyways, but how's it doing so far? Like you said, it just came out, right?
Yeah, it just came out, and it's like really not performing very well, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I think Meg has really done its pretty well as far as in the movie theaters, holding its own. But yeah, no, Slenderman not doing very well at all.
I'd rather watch The Shark than Slender Man anyways, so.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So yeah, that's another one that just came out on the 10th. Another one that I wanted to bring up was Patient Zero. It's a horror fantasy starring Natalie Dormer, and it's about a virus that has turned much of the humanity into a highly intelligent killers. Initially slated for a 2016 release, so like 2 years ago, Sony pushed it back before removing it from their schedule altogether. So it's finally coming out at the 14th of this month. So it just basically came out 2 days ago. And it sounds like a really good movie. And it's something that was kind of put on the shelf because of budgeting reasons. But overall, they said they were able to cut a pretty decent film on that. So I'm really excited to see something of this caliber because it's kind of a different kind of horror where you're dealing with, viruses
Yeah.
and
And
different kind of like creatures and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
it sounds really good. I'm gonna have to check that out. I want to see it. So they turned it into like you said, like killers.
Yeah, like killers. It's kind of like if you were to think about like Resident Evil, like how
Hmm.
how the people of the town kind of like got poisoned and you turned them into like killers and
Right.
zombies and stuff like that. So it's kind of in that kind of vein. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. It sounds so good.
Yep. And another one I wanted to bring up was The Nun, of course, and that actually just got a little bit of a buzz on the internet just recently. I don't know if you saw that or not, Gab, but on the
I
internet,
didn't.
yeah, the the YouTube actually took down one of the trailers for The Nun, citing that there was. It was too scary. The jump scares was too much for people to to withstand. It's just crazy. I mean, what do you think?
You know what though? I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw the trailer for The Nun, when I went to go watch The Purge, actually,
Yeah.
I jumped. Got me.
Oh yeah,
And I
gotcha.
don't think I've had a movie get me. Yeah, it got me. I'm like, holy shit! I gotta watch this movie. I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. No, listen. I mean, when executed properly, these jump scares can be, very effective. But this is obviously a break off of the Conjuring series, if I'm not mistaken. And is it the Conjuring? Is that correct, or is it the Annabelle?
It is. It's The
The
Conjuring.
Conjuring. Okay, so yeah, I'm not. I was right there. So yeah, so it's a break off story of The Conjuring, and of course, it's about that creepy ass picture that Mr. Warren had in his office about that nun. It was just creepy looking,
Hmm.
and then they kind of get into the backstory of it in Annabelle: The Creation, which you saw, right, Gab?
I did not see that one.
Oh, you didn't see that one? Okay. So yeah, in Annabelle Creation, they kind of get into it a little bit there, and they talk about the backstory with the nun, just a tad bit. They don't go into too much detail, but they tease it a bit, and that's what kind of leads into this next movie. So it has a lot of promise. They haven't done wrong so far with that Conjuring series. So it looks like the nun
No,
should probably do just as well with this next rendition.
it looks really dope. I like the way they made her look too. It looks like it's gonna be scary. It looks like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and very creepy. Definitely very creepy. So, well, yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of bring up for the evening as far as a couple movies that are going to be coming out tonight. Let's get into, of course, the the main topic of the evening, which is Waverly. Let me ask you this first off, which is curious to me. What were you thinking going into this whole situation beforehand? What did you anticipate? What did you think was going to happen? Which versus that actually didn't happen? Give me a little bit of insight there.
I don't know. I think in the beginning, like, I didn't really think about it too much. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go and hopefully I get possessed. That's how I, at first, like, this is going to be cool. But when I got there, like, waiting to get inside that place, I started to get scared because it was really dark. And then it's like, shit just got real. Like, I don't even know if I want to go in here. So it got pretty scary.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I just, for me personally, going into a place like that, you actually approached it a lot different than I probably would have approached it because I would have probably been thinking about it constantly up until the point that it actually happened. But did it seem worse or better? You know what I mean? Did the experience
You
was
know,
was it something that opened your eyes more? Was it worse than what you experienced or you thought you were going to experience? Was it something better? What were your overall thoughts on
I
that?
don't know. It's kind of like all of those things. I mean, it's definitely, I experienced things there that I have never, ever in my life experienced. And it's scary, but yet so amazing at the same time to think that those things happened. Like I actually seen like an apparition. I seen a ghost like in the flesh, like me and you.
Yeah.
I never would have thought I'd seen that. Um, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like when I was waiting to go inside, like I said, I got really scared. Like I don't even want to go in here. But
Hmm.
then once I got in there, I'm like, okay, and I broke away from the group that I had went with, like right off the bat. So I was okay just walking around by myself.
Yeah, and let's talk about the dynamic of the groups and stuff like that. So, it wasn't a private, event or affair. It was kind of like they broke you off into public groups, and you had different groups going on at the same time. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So I don't even think there was maybe even 80 people there for
Oh,
the whole
really?
night. And then
Okay.
they break you up into four groups, and then they break you up into two groups, I'm sorry. And then they break that group up into two more groups. So pretty much each group is going to be on a different floor throughout the night. And you have like an hour on each floor, and then you guys change. That way everybody gets to experience the whole place because it's huge.
Yeah, it's a massive facility. What is it? 5 floors?
It's floors, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
of course, you got like basement and everything.
Yeah, of course. And there's of course what they call a death chute, which may some people may or may not know that exists in or down at the very bottom of that facility, where they actually wheel down the bodies from the top floor or the first floor down to the incinerator. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is. Did it so that the patients wouldn't see the dead body and just become discouraged and stuff. So yeah, they just threw them down the chute, and somebody would pick them up.
That's so crazy. That's just so crazy. So listen, let's talk about some of the stuff that you captured there. I want to start off with some of the audio and things that you captured there first because I think it's the most compelling, and because people
Okay.
can hear it first off for themselves. Because some people may not be able to see it visually because they may be listening to this on their phone or whatever the case may be. But I encourage everyone to check out the YouTube channel and go on Dark Fringe Radio and see all this because it's very compelling evidence. I mean, Gab can tell you we've been going through this evidence for like the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Has it been a month
Oh
already?
yeah. Ever since, yeah, I think it's almost been a month ever since I got back,
Yeah,
and we're still going through stuff.
and we're still going through stuff and we're still finding stuff. We're going through things over and over and over again and we're finding very significant things. So number one on the list I wanted to go over was this first piece of audio that you caught, and I call this the witch, and everybody can hear for themselves, and of course Gab, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and play
Yes.
it. I'm gonna go ahead and play that here and take a listen. So yeah. So I asked you about this
That
piece of audio, and you said that you did not hear this at all, right?
no, I know where I was at in the building at the time,
Uh-huh.
but as I was going through it, I did not. We did not hear that. So that's so crazy when you play it, like actually hear it. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I enhanced the audio. I mean, the original audio is kind of more faint, but I just increased the audio level, and you can hear it play as day. And I'm going to play it again so that way everybody can hear it. So go ahead and listen up. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. I mean, come on. That's not
But you
something
know,
that.
I heard stuff like that all night though. I mean, like whispers and it's just wild.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of evidence. That's just creepy on its own. I mean, to be able to capture that on a recorder, and of course, and the reason why EVPs work, on certain different frequencies, and are sometimes captured on cameras or voice recorders or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times they do pick up on a different frequency and are able to hear things like this, things that we're talking about right now with this cackle. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I'm gonna play it one more time because it really, it really, it creeps me out. Let me play that one more
If it
time.
gets to you, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Ah,
yeah, I definitely feel for you. You definitely went through a significant, haunted area. I mean, just a lot of evidence.
the
Just that alone. If you were just to
the
go
whole
home,
place.
if you were to go home with that alone is worth it the whole way through. And you caught more than this. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Next thing I'm going to play is this clip, and you're going to hear it right at the beginning, and you tell me what you hear. And I'm going to play it for you just in a second. Hold on. So did you hear that?
Kind of like the moon.
Yeah, it's a moan. I'm going to play it one more time. Yeah, it's like right at the beginning. And that's also
Kind of like a growl almost.
almost. And that's all obviously something you also didn't hear either because you didn't react to it. And, another piece of audio that is just unexplainable. I'm going to play it one more time. Yeah, I mean, what makes a noise like that? You know?
I don't know. There was no noises like that going on the entire night.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And of course, yeah, the window, there's no windows there. It is open to the elements and stuff like that. But I mean,
hmm
you would have been able to just say, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what that is." When once you heard that, that noise. And obviously, you
I
said
it,
you heard nothing like that there.
there was nothing. In fact, that night it was like the air was dead. I mean, you couldn't hear anything. And you got to remember, this place is outside of the city. I mean, it's backed onto like a golf course. There's nothing out there. You're surrounded by woods.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. So the third piece of audio that I want to play here is also quite compelling. I want everybody to listen up here and check this out. Hold on a second. So did you hear that?
Is that witch again? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna play that one more.
Sounds like the witch.
It sounds like the witch. Yeah, kind of, or like it sounds like a kid screaming or something. In the distance.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Something.
I'm gonna play it one more time. Ugh. And you know what? You know what? I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it one more time because you actually reacted to this one. Hold on. Listen.
Did you guys just hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Did you hear that kid scream?
I heard that. I heard that.
What the fuck?
Yep. So you actually reacted to
Yeah.
what you heard. It was caught on video through the audio,
Mhm.
and you could clearly hear, plain as day, like a kid screaming. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh yeah. I mean, I heard it the first time, and the people I was with, they're like, "No, that has to be a dog." Like I said, we didn't hear any animals that night whatsoever. That was a kid.
Yeah, that was a kid because a dog, yeah, could possibly make that noise, but doesn't sound like, why would a dog make that noise like that all of a sudden and not make it ever again? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense
And
at
it was
all.
just, yeah, and it was so weird too because we were on the third floor. That was right when we got there.
Hmm.
And that was the floor that, people have seen little kids, and there's like a ghost boy there. And you see balls, and there you'll find balls all over the place. Like, I just seen this ball on the fourth floor, and now I'm on the fifth floor, and here it is. It's weird. And we had just ran across that ball, and then all of a sudden we hear that kid scream.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. So yeah, those are the three pieces of audio that you caught, and that was just on your cell phone. I mean, imagine if you took like a digital recorder and were able to record constantly for like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours straight.
Oh, I
That's
know.
it's amazing alone that you were able to catch that evidence just on your cell phone. Believe it or not, think about it.
Oh, yeah. I know. I know. It's crazy to me
Yeah.
when I think about it.
Yep. So let's talk about some of the photos that you took there. And the very first one is of this window. And it looks like there was kind of like this white figure face there kind of
Oh,
peeking
yeah.
in the top right-hand corner. You know which one I'm talking about?
Hmm. Oh, yeah, I know exactly. That is the window tower, which is supposed to be blocked off, but the windows were open. It's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look to the right, it kind of looks like a face just looking there, and it's very creepy. It was a good catch, by the way, getting that photo, because you could see it clear as day to me. I mean, I see it. I've been analyzing this photo, day in and day out, and you could see it there, right there in that right-hand corner of that window. You said it was the tower, correct?
Yeah, and you know what's so weird is I took this picture. I didn't see anything in that window. That window is completely black. And the only reason I took those pictures of the tower was because the guy that I was with, he was like, "Hey, I see something up there. I keep seeing faces up there."
Mm-hmm.
But his phone was going dead, so I just started taking a bunch of pictures for him. And then I'm looking at him. I'm like, "Holy shit, there was something up there."
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's just crazy. And the next photo I wanted to bring up was a kind of like a wide shot of the front of the building, or of kind of one of the front parts of the building, where it there looks like there's a apparition on the top floor. As you can
Uh-huh.
see, you may or may not be able to see it, but we kind of pointed it out where it's kind of like you see the top circle there to the middle towards the left. It looks like a head and shoulders there, standing in the corner. And also, we drew another circle here for you guys to see on the bottom window where there's the window kind of peering open as well.
Hmm. Actually, that's what caught my eye because at that time, there was nobody in the building. The staff had already left. The last ones to stay, so that place was completely empty. And that window curtain was down. And then all of a sudden, I seen it lift up, and that's when I took that picture.
Wow. Yeah. Man, I mean, it just seems like there's so much energy, um, so many things that are happening in that place all at the same time. I mean, it must have been overwhelming being in there.
It was very overwhelming because I was experiencing my own things. I was having a hard time breathing at certain points. I was always cold. The guy that I was with, he got very angry, like for no reason at all. I remember one time he just kind of fell to his knees and he was like, I can't move, get me out of here. The one girl that we were with, she got sick, like she's throwing up. And that place is just, there's so many different energies going on, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I can't, I mean, or understand or begin to understand how anybody can go through there and not be the same person after, because, it just seems to be an overwhelming experience for everyone that seems to go there. So I've yet to go there, but I do plan to go there soon at one point. So the next photo I wanted to bring up was this photo of the top of the building, and it seems like there is an individual, maybe even a child peering over the top roof. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. And you know what's funny is that it does look like a little girl to me. And the top roof is where they house children. That was where the children's playground was at.
Really? So that's where they kept all the children. So if if anywhere the children would have been seen, it would have been there.
Yeah, that's where their playground was,
That's crazy.
in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, you can clearly see there, and I mean, I could show another photo of the overall, roof of that same shot, and there's nothing else that peers over that roof like that, and it like clearly looks
Yeah.
like a child looking over with long black hair with a white robe on. I mean, it's just the creepiest looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
It is. And when we were standing there taking pictures of that place, it's like I could feel like so many eyes just like watching you. It was so creepy.
Yeah, that's just I can imagine. So yeah, that's just a very compelling photo right there. I mean, that's if that doesn't say, hey, listen, this place is haunted. I don't know what else to show you at this point. But seriously, I mean, between that and this, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. All right, so another photo I wanted to bring up was this reflection photo that you took of a window that was in the interior of the facility, and it looks like there is like a skeleton like looking face on the bottom panel or pane of the window, right next to the flash of the camera. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it now, and it's crazy because I didn't see that when I took that picture.
Yeah.
Man, it's like we just keep finding more and more things.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
wild.
it's just crazy, and it's just like no matter what happens or what evidence we look over, it's just like we look over it 4, 5, 6, 7 times, we always find something new. So yeah, a face looks like a skeleton there in the window with the reflection there. Okay, another one I wanted to bring up here was the photo of a hallway. Now this is a pretty compelling photo because I believe this is a Class A photo as far as capturing a full-bodied apparition. Now, I just put this photo up, and people can zoom in on this, but it looks like a figure standing right there in the middle of the hallway. You can see his legs, his torso, his arms, and his head, and taking up space in the hallway there. And it's towards the middle, a little bit towards the right. And you know what I'm talking about, right, Gab?
Yeah, I actually see it. And now that I think about it, when we went, the staff was telling us about the demon Tim that likes to stay in the lobby area.
Mm-hmm.
And they had showed us a picture that this guy had taken a couple of weeks prior. And so that was the first time anyone had seen Tim. And we got to see the picture, and it was so, oh my God, it was so creepy to look at. But he's very tall. He kind of looks like 7 foot tall Slender Man. And it just kind of reminds me of that. And if I remember correctly, I think this is on the first floor. This is where the lobby is.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, and because it's very dark. And I wanted to, I actually enhanced the photo, and I brightened it up a little bit so you can actually see the outline of the person much more apparent in the background of the photo, and you can see the arms and the two legs and the body, and it's there. You can see it with your two eyes.
Oh, I see it.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you were able to catch this stuff over there. It's absolutely crazy. And the last one I wanted to bring up, which is very troubling to me, and is probably one of the most evil-looking pictures I've ever seen in my life that was ever taken. But it's this picture of the hallway, and it's the quality isn't great, but towards the middle, towards the right of the hallway around the corner, it certainly looks like a little girl, peering around the corner with her hand on the side of the panel there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was so wild because I didn't see it at first. In fact, you found it first.
Yes.
But I thought it was like some kind of shadow figure. I'm like, what the hell is that thing? But then when I blew it up, I'm like, oh my God, I see her clear as day.
Yeah, it looks like a girl with long black hair. You can see the hair kind of like dangling down, and her hand holding the side of the corridor of the hallway. and it's just a creepy
Hmm.
photo. I mean, did you feel anything while you were down in that hallway in particular?
Well, the reason why I turned around and took a picture was because I felt like I was being followed. I knew that there was something behind me because I could feel it. Um, Now that I think about it, this little girl, she's been captured like a lot. She's probably one of the most common sightings there.
Oh, so a lot of people see her then. So this is not like an
Yeah.
uncommon thing.
No, no, the little girl and then there's a little boy.
Hmm.
They're seen all the time.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw this photo, because you asked me to review all this evidence, and which I was very happy to do. I love doing stuff like that, and I know it's painstaking, and most people think it's boring as fuck, but I love it, and I love just sitting there analyzing photos, listening to audio. I was able to pick up all these things, and you picked up a lot of shit.
I
Just
did.
yeah, just on a cell phone alone. I mean, imagine if you were like totally geared up and had a digital recorder and this and that and cameras, all that stuff. I mean, who knows how much more evidence you would have captured there? But just amazing,
Well, who
amazing stuff.
knows? Like, who knows what's in those photos that came out all black?
Yeah,
Because sometimes my camera, it wouldn't let me take a picture. It was so weird. It did so much crazy stuff that night. But a lot of those pictures, and I can't light in them. So it's like, what was really there? What didn't want to be seen?
yeah. It seems like something didn't want to be seen. And let me talk about something furthermore. That's very important. That it's kind of like something that we wouldn't talk about as for normal, but we've tried to record this podcast not one, but two, but three times already. And for some reason, things go wrong. The audio is not working. The video's not working. Um, you name it, it happened. This so
My
far,
computer wouldn't let me send you pictures.
it
It's
was
been
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So it seemed to me like this is the episode that wasn't supposed to be aired or whatever the case may be, but we're gonna damn it make it happen because you know what, this stuff needs to be shown to people, to say, hey, listen, this stuff exists. There are things that we cannot, see with our naked eye, or maybe able to even hear with their ears. Like you said, a lot of these, pieces of audio you didn't hear, except for the last one you actually recognized. The first two you didn't hear at all. That's things like that are compelling. Most people would say that's just farce. It's not. You went in there with your cell phone and that's it. That's all you did.
Yeah, yeah. And the crazy thing is, when I walked out that whole building, I heard all kinds of things, and I'm hearing stuff that I didn't. It's like how much stuff was really going on around me that I didn't know,
Yeah.
and there was already a lot going on around me that I did know, and that's what's crazy.
Yeah. We talked about the possibilities of a portal in that place. I'm not sure if you want to talk about that or not, but it's something that I know that we talked about, and there seems to be some type of energy there that's being filtered, through some type of opening that's not of this world. And we talked
No,
about it, and we don't have to talk about where it is exactly, but we can talk about what you felt, and why you believe that it's actually there.
I mean, there's definitely something there. There are non-human entities in that place, and there's some really dark stuff. It was kind of weird because after I started posting these photos on Instagram, a girl hit me up that lives right next door to the place.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked, and she told me that it's not just Waverly, it's that area. Like, their town is a portal in itself. She said, I mean, people in that town are just haunted all over. Like, those shadow people, those demons that are up there, they also leave the building. And especially with her living right next door, she said she's seen demons in her house.
Yeah, and it seems like she also, mentioned that people that live in the area are like completely obsessed with the area of of Waverly itself as well. Correct?
Oh yeah, it's kind of hard to not become obsessed with that place because when you're there, it's like it sucks you in. It's you have to go back. I mean, the guy I went with, that was like his third or fourth time, and he's going to go again in a couple of months.
Yeah,
It's
I
like you
mean,
can't get enough of it.
of course. I mean, I could only imagine, especially feeling and experiencing, the things that you did there. I mean, those things are so
Yeah,
significant. Why wouldn't you want to experience them again or, further investigate? I could see why somebody would be, attracted to something like that and want to know more and so on and so forth. But, yeah,
Y-
just a very significant place. Unbelievable.
well, what's really crazy is there's a couple that owns that place, and apparently they bought it and then moved in, and now they barely leave Waverly. Like they live there 24/7, hardly ever leave. They're like eccentrics. I
Wow.
can't imagine living there.
Yeah. Could you imagine
I
all that energy just constantly around you?
I couldn't do it. 6 hours was enough for me, and but no, I mean, that place them in, like, they don't leave.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, they call it the one of the most haunted spots in all of the United States for a reason. And everyone that I've ever spoken to that's actually been there always talks about how they're a completely different person after they've left. So,
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
wonderful. Job there, Gap. I mean, you captured a lot of evidence. I just can't imagine you going back there again. Trying to experience all that, but to each his own. But next time, definitely take a little bit more equipment so that way you can capture more evidence. Because just with your cell phone alone, look what you captured. That to me, that is a big, a sticking point to me because, obviously you weren't able to record every single moment or step
Right.
of your time there. But
Well,
imagine
they
if you
don't
were
let
able
you
to.
take stuff in there.
Oh,
Like,
they
you
don't.
can't go in with all that equipment.
Really? Okay, so you can't go in
We
and with.
couldn't even use flashlights. Like, when we were on the tour, they wouldn't even let us use flashlights. Like, you're really in the pitch black.
Wow.
For real.
So
They didn't
that's
even want you using the flash on your camera, on your
really.
phone.
Wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
how do they, well, I mean, I don't know. How do they expect you to catch evidence? And it's amazing that you still were able to. I mean, that's even more spectacular because of the restrictions that you report on, put on you, to be able to capture this
Yeah.
evidence. It's just amazing, amazing. So yeah. So let me ask you, you plan going back there again?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely go back. Actually, you can rent that place privately for
Oh,
the night.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do
So,
that. Hey, guess
yeah,
what?
the people that I
Let's
went
rent
with
it
were
out.
already planning it. Like,
Check
we're
this
going to
out.
go and just spend the night.
Let's rent it out, and we'll do a live episode of Dark Fringe Radio from Waverly.
Let's let's do it. Let's do it. Oh my
Oh,
God.
could you imagine that?
Oh man. Well, the one guy, our tour guide was telling us that one guy rented out the place privately for the night, and it was one of two times that someone has ever possessed there, and he became possessed.
He became possessed. Is that what you said?
Yes, yes. Like when we were there, the staff told us, like, make sure that we all stick together. Every time we would change floors, they would do a head count because they told us that they've lost people in that place, like lost them. Like they
Really?
never came back out again. They're just gone.
Just gone. Like, yeah, I think there's portals there. Like, people like go into different dimensions in that place, man. Seriously, like, I really do believe that.
There really is a portal there. I don't really want to talk about it too much just because it's just so crazy to me.
Yeah,
But
yeah. No, I
it
get it. I get
that
it.
can take you places that are not like really there. It's really kind of scary.
Yeah. Well,
But I definitely want to go back.
you're a glutton for punishment. But hey, listen, to each his own. I understand, and I want to go. I really want to experience a lot of that stuff. I think it takes a certain kind of person, of a very strong mind willed like yourself, and other people that have actually experienced that, are able to come through and are able to talk
Hmm.
about it because there's some crazy shit that's happening there, and it it wouldn't be the
I mean,
case if it all these people would go there and not find all this evidence on a constant basis.
think it's crazy because some people go in there and don't really experience anything. Like I said, the guy that I went with, he had already been there 3 times. And I think he said the only thing he had ever experienced out of all those trips was maybe hearing like some feet shuffling behind him.
Wow.
But he went, I'm like, man, I'm telling you, ghosts are attracted to me. And he was like, they really are. He experienced so we experienced like it for a full 6 hours.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. It was like a nightmare, but like a dream come true. It was weird.
Wow. Well, listen, that's a wrap for Waverly. Finally able to record this podcast and shake the spirits out and get this done. And I do appreciate you coming on the podcast talking about this. I know this was a very significant experience for you. You had a lot of stuff going on, and I know you were completely drained emotionally and physically after your,
physically.
Yeah, I know. Hey, that's just a part of what to experience when you go to Waverly. Unfortunately, I mean, I just hope more people take note to this if they ever decide to go to that place. To be prepared. Well, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was gonna say I don't know if I told you, but they're turning that place into a haunted hotel.
Oh, they are really
like open. Yeah, they're doing construction. They had started construction while we were there, and their plans is they're going to turn that into like this huge hotel, and people can come stay the night. I don't think it's going to happen.
You don't think so? Why?
But
why?
I don't think that place wants to be like. First of all, it's too dangerous. Like that place is
falling
people.
Apart, right?
You can get seriously hurt there. There's a lot of dark shit there. I can't even begin to imagine just tons of people in and out of that place. Those things are going to be angry. Yeah. I don't think it's going to go through. Like, I think the crew will probably leave. They're never going to be able to get a crew to finish it.
Wow. That's a bold prediction. So let's see if that actually happens, and we'll be tracking that. So, all right, Gab. Well, listen, thanks for coming on the podcast and talking about your experiences at Waverly, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And next week we'll have a new episode of the podcast. And I want to apologize to everybody. I know we haven't had a podcast in a couple of weeks. It's been absolutely crazy for me with the schedule that I've had in the summer here as of late, but we're back on schedule, and I promise to get you a podcast every week from here on out. So thank you again to Gab for coming on the podcast. And Gab, where can everybody follow you on Instagram to check out all your reviews on movies that you constantly do? You're constantly talking about movies and giving reviews and giving your opinions on them. Where can everybody find you there?
You can find me at Gab's Already Dead.
Very good. And you can follow us on Dark Fringe Radio, of course, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just look up Dark Fringe Radio. And, of course, to listen to us, you can catch us on YouTube. Look up Dark Fringe Radio. Also on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. Just look up Dark Fringe Radio. Please subscribe. Please like. Share this stuff with your friends and family, anybody that enjoys stuff like this and all this kind of type of discussion. If you want to send us an email, you can send that to us at thedarkfringe@gmail.com. That's again, thedarkfringe@gmail.com. Any suggestions, or if you want to become a guest on the podcast, you have something significant to talk about, we definitely would love to have you and talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So again, I am Will Martinez, and thank you for Gab for coming on the podcast, and we'll check you guys out next week. Again, thanks for coming on Dark Fringe Radio. Dancing on the